Hi, Sawyer. I went to the library today and got this book. It's a Bigfoot and Littlefoot, and it's called The Gremlin's Shoes. Oh, I see a pair of shoes up there. All right. So then the back of the book gives a little description of what the book is about. And it says, Hugo is a Sasquatch. We knew that from the first book. Boone is a human. They're best friends who are always ready for adventure. Hugo and Boone love discovering magical monsters, and the marvelous monster magnet would let them meet monsters up close and personal. But the toy costs 25 nubbins. That's a lot of nubbins. I don't know if a nubbin is like $1. I don't know. When Hugo and Boone set off on an adventure to earn the money, they end up on a treasure hunt through the woods where they find much more than what they were expecting. All right. So that's what the back of the book said. All right. Let's see. Okay. Chapter 1 is called Nothing to Do It Is. Deep in the cold north woods, there lived a young Sasquatch named Hugo. He was bigger than you, but smaller than me. He was hairier than both of us. He lived in apartment 1G in the very back of the Windershins Cavern with his mother and father and his older sister, Winnie. It was Saturday. There was no school. Hugo and his best friend, Boone, sat on the floor of Hugo's bedroom, dipping their fingers into the little stream that ran through the room. Tiny silver fish swam in the stream. Boone and Hugo made their hands into tunnels for the fish to swim through. I remember, well, here's the picture. I remember from the first book, Hugo used to send Boone like letters. They used to send letters through this river back and forth. And maybe they used this little boat. I don't remember. I still think that would be fun to have a river in your room. Yes, fish. Great. Oh, they're there. Little fish were swimming right through his room. How cool is that? So what do you want to do today? Boone asked Hugo for the 5th time that morning. I don't know. What do you want to do? Hugo replied, also for the 5th time. I don't know, Boone said. Hugo and Boone had a bad case of nothing to doism. You probably had nothing to doism once or twice in your life too. It's when you suddenly have loads of time, but you can't think of a single thing to do. Are those new shoes? Hugo asked Boone. Boone nodded and looked proudly at his red sneakers with black stripes and yellow laces. The old ones were getting too small. Here's a picture of his shoes. It's fun to get new shoes. Hugo didn't have to wear his shoes. Sasquatches have tough padding on the soles of their feet, so they can walk barefoot. Still, Hugo thought it might be fun to wear red sneakers with black stripes and yellow shoelaces. Right then, he made a mental list of the reason why it would be fun to be a human. Sneakers was number 1 on his list. Grandma told me that if my feet keep growing so fast, Boone said, they'll be as big as a Sasquatch's in no time. He placed his foot next to Hugo's foot to compare. Boone's foot was only half as big as Hugo's. But Hugo didn't want to discourage Boone. He replied, bigger, maybe. They were quiet for a moment. Then Boone asked for the 6th time, so what do you want to do today? Hugo was about to reply, I don't know, again, when suddenly he had an idea. We could go to Uncle Figgy's toy store, he answered. Yes, that's exactly what we should do, Boone said, jumping to his feet. And just like that, Their case of nothing-to-doism was cured. That's the end of chapter 1. I'll read a little bit of chapter 2. Chapter 2 is called Uncle Figgy's Toy Store. They headed out the door and down the winding passageway to Uncle Figgy's toy store. Like all the other shop in Wintershins Cabin, it was in the busy Central Cave district. Hugo and Boone walked past the barber shop first. Sasquatch's hair grows very fast, so there was always a lot of Sasquatches in the barber shop waiting for a trim. Some of them wanted fancy hairdos. Today, Hugo and Boone spotted Mrs. Rattlebags sitting in a chair and having all her hair put in curlers. First of all, I'm laughing at their names. They have funny names. Mrs. Rattlebags. And what was the other one? Oh, Uncle Figgy. Look at this picture. She has curlers all over her body. I don't know. Your mom doesn't really curl her hair. I have curlers I can show you sometime when you're here, but people just put them in their hair, you know, on the top of our heads, but she's putting them everywhere. Plus, she looks a little cranky. Next, they passed the Everything You Need General Store and Bakery. That was the store Hugo's parents owned. Hugo and Boone waved at Hugo's dad, who was behind the checkout counter, and he smiled and waved back. Up ahead was Uncle Figgy's toy store. The toy store was always a popular place to be on Saturday, but today it was packed with squidges. That a squidge is what you call a young Sasquatch. I remember that now from the other book we read. The store must have gotten some really great new toys, Hugo said. Look, there's Gigi. Boone pointed to a small squidge with glasses who was standing outside the toy store. Gigi! Hugo and Boone called to her. Gigi turned around and looked and... Gosh, I'm having trouble reading today. Gigi turned around and, looking a little embarrassed, waited for them to come over. What's happening? Asked Hugo. That's happening, Gigi said, pointing to a sign outside the store. Mad Marvin, Hugo and Boone cried at the same time. So I'll show you the picture, but it says Uncle Figgy's Toy Store, today only, special appearance by Mad Marvin. So that's Gigi. Who do you think Mad Marvin is? He's coming to a toy store. Magic tricks, maybe? Mad Marvin the magician? I don't know. All right, I'll stop there. We'll find out who Mad Marvin is tomorrow. So that's it for tonight. Grandpa and I are going to try to come to Stevens Point tomorrow. So hopefully I will see you tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So have a good night. I love you much, and I will see you soon. Bye, Sawyer.